Hi fellow knitters, welcome to the channel or welcome back. This is Happy Valley Knits. My name's Debbie. I live, I work and I do my knitting in West Yorkshire in the north of the UK. Today I'm wearing my Cloudbreak tee by Woollen Pine. Woollen Pine is one of my favourite designers. I started off by knitting the sea glass sweater because I absolutely fell in love with all of everybody's projects on Instagram, etc. And I thought I need to do that. It did look like a big job, so it took me a little while to pluck up the courage, but once I did, I was well underway. I really enjoyed that project. So let's see if I can put a photo of it up here. I do actually have a whole video on it, so I will link that in the description as well if you're interested. But yeah, the sea glass sweater was my first Woollen Pine design and that got me hooked. This is the Cloudbreak tee, which I'm very happy with. And I'm also knitting on one of their other designs, but we'll just have a look at that in a moment actually, because I've got a finished object. And that is the Italian summer scarf by an Italian knitter. I have finished it. It is a free pattern download on Ravelry and it is a DK weight. Now I have used this as a stash buster, and a couple of videos ago I think I was diving into my stash. I thought I was going to do a video on the whole of my stash. That didn't happen because it took way too long. So I only really covered my 4-ply yarns. So many of those do actually appear in here and I'm holding them double, but I'm holding two different colours. So there's all miles colours in this scarf, but it's a lovely pattern. Now actually, I think you could wear it on a cool summer evening. However, I think it's going to be a really nice winter type scarf for me. I mean, it's very warm actually. I suppose it depends what yarn you knit it with. Oh, it's gorgeous. It feels really scrunchy and, you know, squishy. It feels squishy and lovely. And I think that's probably to do with the eyelet pattern. Now, the eyelet pattern is very simple, but it keeps you engaged. And it just kept me going. I just thought, what colours am I going to put in now? When I started running out of a green, I put a mauve in. Then I started running out of the mauve, I put a blue in. And as you can see, I got some of my mustardy yellows and a little bit of orange, and then again over to a nice deeper mauve and a pink and pale green at the end. So it's turned out really, really nice. I recommend this one. I think it's a lovely scarf to make. You can of course go as long or as short as you like. Once you get to the midway point for you, you then do the second half, which are the decreases. So it's very simple. There's an I-cord edging on the edge. Obviously it's on the edge. Yeah, it's really, really lovely. I do recommend knitting that, and it's free, which is quite rare, isn't it, sometimes these days. So that's that one. Now my other work in progress is the Spring Girl by Amy Christophers, and I have actually finished it. But what has happened is I've blocked it and my sleeves are too long. They are 2 inches too long. And so I'm going to be ripping back on each sleeve a couple of inches and then putting a rib on again. So I'm almost there, and I can bring you that one next time and we can have a good look at that. That's a very nice knit as well, by the way. And now back to Woollen Pine. You may know that I am knitting the Yarnkeepers Vest, and this is another one where I am stash busting. Now I did have this background colour, which is almond in Drops Charisma. I had 2 balls of that, so I decided to use that as the background colour, but all of these stripes are my fingering weights that I'm holding double. And I'm just introducing a few new colours here at the bottom. Oh, some of them, I've got a couple of DKs going in here. The new colours going in are actual DKs. So I'm using up those. I think it's turning out to be a nice autumn colour. Nice autumnal colour. And I'm planning on wearing this over t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, even lightweight jumpers, you know, when you, in the winter when you really do want an extra layer. I think these armholes, I might have picked the wrong size. I think the armholes are a little big. Then again, I did go up half a needle size, so it's kind of my own fault. However, when I pick up for the ribbing, I'm just going to pick up quite vigorously and, you know, pull that together. I think that will work, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, this is a stash buster, but I have had to order another ball of almonds because I really do want to do the ribbing in almond as well. I just think it will, you know, make for a much neater, nicer top for me, and I will wear a lot. I mean, I could use a different colour, but I've held a few different colours against the neckline and against the armholes, but it just doesn't work. So yes, I have ordered another ball for that, but I think that's okay. I've still used up a lot of my stash in this beautiful top by Wool & Pine. It's DK weight, by the way. And so this has ignited in me a real love of knitting stripes at the moment. I've got my mojo on for stripe knitting, and so I thought I can, you know, stash more, bust more of my stash, apologies. Let's bust some more. And so I'm looking for another stripy sweater to wear. So let's just have a look at what I found. So let's start with the Yarnkeepers Vest, which I've just shown you my work in progress on. A DK weight vest. You're knitting flat initially for the backs of the top and the front, and then you will join together and knit down in the round. Lovely for your stash busting. And this is the latest one from Wool & Pine, another stash buster. This time you're knitting from side to side, so you get these vertical stripes, and there's texture as well. You work a section of garter stitch and a section of stockinette from what I can see. I do really like these darker colour versions, but depending on what you've got in your stash, it will be your mixtape. It will be individual to you, so no two are going to be alike of this one. That's what I like about it. Next is the Stripe Hype Sweater by Veronika or Veronika Lindberg. It's a DK weight stripy sweater. You can use up your stash quite nicely in this one as well. The stripes are bigger and bolder, and it's worked on a 4mm or a US 6 needle. Top down, you begin at the back flat, and then you pick up stitches separately for the front and join them up together, and then work in the round for the lower body. I like this one. Depending on the colours you've got in your stash, it could be really individual. And of course, if you have fingering weight, you can hold them double. Maybe you could have some mild stripes. That would be interesting. Now, for anyone adventurous, there's actually a dress version, Stripe Hype dress. It's got a bit of A-line shaping at the bottom, but that, of course, would take a bit longer. Okay, let's move on now to the Frankie sweater by Petite Knit. I think this is going to be my next cast on, actually. It's a raglan top-down striped sweater. I like the fact that there's these rolled edges. There's a bit of garter stitch at the top and the sleeves, and it's just got a nice rolled edge. Again, it's DK weight. It's knit on 4mm or US 6. And it's the raglan shaping that's attracting me now, because I've got lots of circular yokes. But I really do want a nice raglan. It goes quite nicely with my wide shoulders, to be honest with you. I really like this blue and burgundy version, but I'm thinking of using my stash and different colours on the stripes. And next we have the Flock Pullover by Andrea Mowry. This is moving on from her Flock Vest. There's 3 colours. You have a little stripe within a stripe, but the construction's really interesting. You start with this saddle shoulder at the top. The stripes are going in the other direction, and then you pick up for the back and front and work your way down. So it's a really interesting. I think also, depending on the colours you choose, it could be quite different. So let's have a look at some of her test knitters now. Yeah, look at this. It's a very different feel, isn't it? So the colours really make it individual for you, depending on what you choose. Worsted weight, it will probably knit up quite quick, I imagine, this one. So yeah, I'm quite tempted by this too. And here's a lovely red version. So you can crop it, and top down, you can go to whatever length you want. So let's just have a quick look at where this came from, the flock vest, which a lot of people are knitting at the moment. But it is a lovely vest. Again, it's worsted weight. It's the same pattern, but of course knitting flat. You're knitting back and forward because you've got a button band. I like this green version actually. This green with a sort of orangey pop. Loving it. Now we have the Riggies Vest by Gudrun Johnson. Not necessarily a striped pattern, but you can use colour blocking and stripes like is shown here. I like this open version. If I knit it, this is what I would knit. This is a DK weight, by the way, but it's knit on 5mm or US 8, so nice and big. It's completely garter stitch. You start in 4 sections. You knit 4 sections of garter stitch from the side, and then you join them. Obviously the open version you would leave open, but I really like this one and I think I'm going to knit it. And now we have the Stornoway sweater by Cheryl Mokhtari, worsted weight. Look at this lovely texture in between the stripes. From what I can see, it's a knit one, purl one section, just a small section, but that gives it quite a bit of interest, doesn't it? Just produce a lovely casual sweater that you just want to throw on with your jeans. And it would be interesting to knit. You start at the top of the back, shaping the shoulders, and then pick up stitches for the front. I think this would be really lovely in the autumn. And we have a t-shirt version you can work in cotton yarn. This is a DK weight for this one, same texture, same stripes. And then once you have completed the body, you pick up stitches around the armhole for the sleeves and work those down. And next we have the Sunbeam tee from Incremental Knits. This is a sport weight, knit on 3mm or US 2.5. And it looks like it's got a knit 2 purl 2 rib incorporated with some eyelets. So it's really interesting. Saddle shoulder construction, knitting flat initially. And then when you knit in the round, you actually increase for the sleeves. So it's all one piece. It's a really interesting construction. And unisex, you choose whatever colours you want for yourself. It's very interesting, this one. And I really like this polo shirt. My favourite thing's Polo #1. It's knit in DK weight on a 4mm needle, that's US 6. And I just like the way you get this double rib collar and a placket with the buttonholes. It's very classical, isn't it? And I love the striping in it. And if I was to do this, I wouldn't even change the colours. It's just beautiful, isn't it? You get the contiguous shoulder construction for this one. And it's worked from the top down. I really like it, actually. Oh, it's just one of those things, isn't it? All the things you want to knit, with not enough time. But yeah, really like this one. Okay, so there's quite a lot of stripes around this year, isn't there? But I am actually loving them. And I have decided that the next one I am going to make is the Frankie sweater by Petite Knit. The stripes I'm going to be using from my stash, yarn from my stash, whether it's fingering weight that I hold double or a DK, but I am going to be quite considered with the colours I use, not just going to do tutti frutti. I am going to try and get colours that blend together, and so there's a more cohesive whole in the sweater. Now, I didn't have enough yarn for the background colour, so I have on order, I've got Permin Dagmar in the colourway Oats. Hopefully I will get a picture on the screen for you of that. And I think that is going to make a beautiful background for this sweater. I really wanted to knit a raglan next time. I've done a lot of yokes, a lot of round neck yokes, and so I really want to knit a raglan. I do feel with my wide shoulders, raglan is, it's a better fit, to be honest, but I am drawn to a lot of yokes for some reason, circular yokes I mean, for some reason. So yes, I want to go back to a raglan shaping, so I'm going to do that one first. Doesn't mean I won't be doing any of the others in this in this roundup, because you know I do really like them all. Anyway, I hope you got a little bit of interest out of that. I thank you so much for watching again, as always. If you haven't subscribed, do please consider subscribing. That would help me out a great deal. But in the meantime, I'm going to wish you now happy knitting, and I'll see you next time.